Hello, everyone. Welcome to our fundraising workshop. We're bringing you all together today to talk about the who, what, where, when, why, and how to do the ask for fundraising. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right in. We're going to try to keep it short and sweet for you guys today. And I'll go ahead and hand it over to Dominic.
Thanks, Tina. Welcome, everybody. The first thing we wanted to start out with is we know that asking people for donations is a challenge. It's difficult for a lot of people, myself included. But I think what we're trying to do is make it easier, give you some more tools, give you some examples to make it easier. For example, if you're brand new to this, start with your family and circle of close friends. It's really a good way to, you know them, you have no hesitation there, and do that before you start reaching out into your wider network. You should know a couple things. Most of the people you ask are more than happy to help you. You are, try to remember you're doing something good in the world, and most people recognize that. And if you do get a no, it'll be the most gentle no ever. And so keep that in mind. You're not asking people for money for something you're doing; you're asking it for others. And so the power of asking is really great, even if you don't get a response immediately. And I'll give you a quick example. One year I was doing Amber, and I showed up in Tahoe, and I was about 500 or so dollars short of my goal. And I'm walking in to get my packet pickup, and all of a sudden, a coworker out of the blue just, topped me up to my goal. And it came out of nowhere. I really wasn't expecting. I did a kind of a wide outreach. So I guess the other point here is you never know who is going to help you. You don't know who has a connection to the cause, or who just knows you well enough to say, hey, this person's doing something good, let me help out. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more confidence to get out there and help us out. Back to you,
Awesome.
Tina.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I would say one of the things when you're getting started on your fundraising is make sure that you have all of your materials updated. So start with your webpage, make sure that that has some information about what you're doing. The website populates with a very standardized template, not very exciting to look at. So what I recommend is adding some photos, share your why, let people know why it is that you're jumping on the bike and gonna ride 100 miles, and share a little bit about that journey. Feel free to go back in and update as you're doing these amazing rides, and share photos and share different parts of what was meaningful to you. Also, a really important thing to make sure that you update is your goal. So if somebody jumps on your fundraising page and they see that you're still a little ways from your goal, they may be inclined to help out in a bigger way than if you've already met your goal. So make sure to keep that updated, and as you're hitting and exceeding your goals, make sure to keep updating that little ticker there. So when to ask, go ahead and get started right now and make sure that you're reminding people as you go. We know that a lot of times people just get busy and they may forget, but giving them that little reminder and making it easy for them is going to be a really great way to help out your fundraising. Why? Share with people why it is that you're going out and riding 100 miles. Why do you care? Why are you supporting LLS? What's meaningful to you? And really share it out there. And once you've created that, you can over and over again. So there's no need to recreate the wheel here. Make sure that you use that on your webpage, letters, emails, text messages, any social media. They're a really great way to really just magnify your message. Now for the meat and potatoes of the workshop, we're going to talk about who to ask. So one of the activities that we did is 40 names in 40 minutes. In 4 minutes, sorry, 4 minutes. We're not going to take the whole rest of the hour. So go ahead and grab a sheet of paper and a pen. And as I'm listing off some different categories, try to think of new names that you maybe haven't thought of before to reach out to and share about your fundraising. All right. So going and getting started, where do you spend money? Write down the name of your dentist, your insurance agent, services that you use. Where do you spend your fun money? Where do you spend your fun time? Do you have any hobbies or book clubs that should be part of that information that you're sharing, that you're doing this amazing adventure? your salon, where you get your nails done, your barber. Put all their names on your list. At this point in the game, we're not qualifying. Everybody goes on the list. Where else do you regularly spend money? Who do you know that's been impacted by cancer? What fundraiser do you always support? That's looking at you, Girl Scouts. Who have you been supporting year after year? Whose kid always reaches out and lets you know that they have the wrapping paper fundraiser or something going on at school? What contacts do you have through your kids, your relatives? Speaking of relatives, write down 3 relative names. Who would be excited to hear about what you're doing? Write down 4 places you do business with. Your bank, different stores. Definitely think about credit unions. They're a great opportunity for fundraising. Write down the name of 4 friends. Who would be really excited or inspired to hear about what you're out there doing? Who's going to want to hear about your training update? Write down the names of anyone who's asked you to sit on or join a committee recently. Who asked you to share their time with them? Write down the name of a couple coworkers. Definitely put the name of your boss. Now, write down the names of some coworkers that you miss, that you are either no longer working with or not in direct contact with. Who did you used to hang out around the water cooler with? If you have a significant other, write down some of their coworkers. Who's your significant other's best friend? Who's going to want to know about what you're doing? Next, write down the name of some neighbors. Are you a member of any religious groups, churches, temples, or social group contacts? Write down some names of people that you've recently supported who've asked you to attend events for fundraisers, different things like that. We're going to talk a little bit more about sponsorship in a minute, but is there anybody that would just be a really cool sponsor for America's Most Beautiful Bike Ride and Team SFA? Now, are there any other names on your heart that you haven't written down yet? Go ahead and throw them on the list too. Feel free to kind of recap that exercise and get any other names that you haven't already put on there. But last but not least, who do you know who's been impacted by cancer? Who needs to know about what LLS is doing and how the work in blood cancer research is helping a lot of other cancers, causes, and diseases? All right. Now with that list, I'm going to go ahead and hand it back to Dom.
Thanks. I'm still writing, but try to finish up here. All right. So, hopefully I did this, exercise myself, at our workshop, and it is amazing. I've been doing this for years. It's amazing how many new people come up. But, now that we have this who, let's start actually narrowing things down, because one of the changes that we've made this year is provided additional avenues for your donors. And so the next goal here is to give you some examples, and then to take a look at your list and try to find the best fit for this group of people. For example, Tina will talk more about our sponsorship program, but think about who is a business owner. And this could be anything from Tina had mentioned your dentist, but like think about as small as any sole proprietor, small business, which, these days, that is like the most, the biggest kind of area. And with COVID, it's even exploded further. So if you have a business owner in that list, introduce them to our sponsorship program. It is, the new tiers we developed this year go as low as $250. And for that, you get some marketing help with our network. So it's a great way to take the subset of your list that are business owners or no business owners to introduce them to our sponsorship program. There are many ways to help us out with our events that we have coming up. We'll talk about that in a minute, but But if you've been paying attention to the notes and Facebook posts, you know that we're doing a Concert for the Cure April 1st, and our Napa wine experience and auction April 30th. So lots of ways to participate there. I mean, first and foremost, share the news, try to get some people to come, but you can also sponsor an auction item. So think about the people in your list who, including yourself, maybe you're a member of a wine club. I am, and I can tell you it's a very easy way to get an auction item. Tours and tastings, they're popular with people who attend, and in my experience so far, people are glad to help you out. So you should be able to get those fairly easily. Think about activities or experiences. Is there a connection there? Is there a somebody who, I don't know, provides some sort of service or experience? They like kayaking on a river somewhere, or whatever. Think about, this isn't like this is really about you and the people and taking advantage of what they either do in their work or in their social life, because making that connection makes things very easy. Think about ourselves. We combine cycling with the cause, and that's our simple connection. And the more you do that, the better. Vacation homes. If you know people that have a vacation home, maybe they'll donate a weekend or a couple days and offer that up for an auction item. Also quite popular. They have one in Tahoe. Maybe it's available, I don't know, June 4th weekend. If you know somebody who's a music fan and might be interested in the concert, you could play that part up. If you know people, lots of people go up to Napa if they're into the wine or the craft beer or just hanging out in a beautiful area with a lot of activities, introduce them to our auction. And of course, the old ways still work too. Just ask them for a donation and help. But I think our point here is that lots of new ways this year, lots of different ways to kind of bring people into the fold. And if you find some connection with your donors, it's just an easier conversation to have and a much easier way to have them participate. So hopefully that helps. And Tina, you could talk a little bit more about our sponsorships.
Absolutely. So really excited locally with Team SFA. There's a sponsorship program that ranges from $250 up to $5,000. The national team and training sponsorship opportunities kick in at the $5,000 mark. But really, we created a local program where it makes it so local businesses can participate in a different way. So we have a ton of different benefits and ability for the businesses to interact with the team and come together, really support the cause, and have that tax deductible donation. So we'll be providing all of that information in our handout, but it's a really great opportunity to engage people in a different way. And keep in mind, our national team and training sponsorship opportunities go from $5,000 and up, and the sponsorships locally and nationally can all be customized. So we'll be doing a discovery meeting with the sponsor, figure out what they care about, and then figure out different ways to customize that experience for them. It's a really great opportunity for businesses to be engaged. And in the first chunk of time that we piloted this program, it's been really successful. So again, great opportunity to connect with business owners, and feel free to loop me in when you have questions or you want to know how the different sponsorship activations work.
Great. Thanks, Tina. I wanted to touch a little bit more on the auctions that we were talking about. And a couple things I think I failed to point out is, one is, if you supply an auction item, it helps your fundraising, because anything we get goes directly to your credit, to your fundraising account. So again, should be an easy way for you to bump up, hit your goal, hopefully exceed your goal. And we've got some idea, Tina has some, certainly some ideas. There's more than what we just mentioned here. And that'll be in our handout as well. And if you have something, there's a form to fill out to kind of log the item, and then we'll get them into whichever event is appropriate. And so the events are coming up, as I mentioned. So April 1st is our Concert for a Cure, and you can get those tickets from Mel, Jerry, or KSU. The Napa event is April 30th, and there's a ticket link where you can buy your tickets online. So please share that out with everyone, and we're going to try to make this a blowout event. And hopefully it just is a couple more exciting ways for us to all meet our goal. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Tina for some final thoughts.
Yeah, so we've talked about who to ask, what to ask them, when to start asking them, and all of those details. And now comes the important, how do you do that ask? So what we really wanted to do here is take the guesswork out of it. So we created some examples that you can take and customize and basically craft your message around who it is that you're talking to. The templates all help you kind of come up with the basic structure and give you some ideas and thought starters on how to reach out. Again, create something that makes it sound like it's coming from you. We want to hear from Dominic. We want to hear from Tina. We want to hear from our participants, and really be able to share that out there. I always recommend taking the message and customizing it with something that's specific to who you're reaching out to. So if it's a friend, hey, I saw you had this big win on Facebook. I was thinking about so and so, and it reminded me of you. Really create a template for yourself, download those templates, create some things, and then save them on your desktop so you can go back to them at any time. And again, kind of reach out to people in a way that you think would be most effective for them. I like texting a lot more than phone calls. So if somebody reaches out to me that way and includes their fundraising link, that's really actionable for me. So, as you're thinking about that, reach out to people in different ways that you feel like make sense to them. And again, ask everyone. So let everybody know what it is that you're doing. Again, like Dominic mentioned, if you get a no, it'll be the softest no you've ever heard. You are reaching out in order to support the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and that's a really big deal. People are going to be excited to support their friends that are doing good out there in the world. Really want to thank all of you for joining us, and we will have some more communications that go out with the video, and there's a handout that goes along with it. We'll have the 40 names in 4 minutes, so you can complete that exercise again and again. Thanks everybody for joining us. Have a great day.